the Wall Street Pub and Grill here on the campus of Tiffany University. It's a Wednesday night at 6:30. That means it's time for the Gary Goff Show. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons, with you every Wednesday night at 6:30 alongside a little bit different setup here. Normally sitting right beside me to my right. Now a little bit of space between us on our left. Coach Gary Goff, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great, Russ. Thanks.
Hey, coming in here is an undefeated team, 6-0. Great, another great win last week, and I guess what the coaches say, you win one week and move on to the next. Is that how you do it?
That's our goal, to be 1-0 each week, and we accomplished that mission last week, so we're moving forward. I know we got the show to do tonight, but we're focused on Kentucky Wesleyan right now. So.
Well, Kentucky Wesleyan this Saturday at 4 o'clock. Before we get into last week, I want to remind everybody that it is our community night, our community game on Saturday. So anybody who is a Seneca County resident, not a Tiffin resident, any Seneca County resident can get in for free on Saturday afternoon for this football game, 4 o'clock afternoon start. And the way your Dragons are playing, I don't know why anybody around here wouldn't want to come watch them play.
Yeah, we had a great crowd last week. It was homecoming and all, but I think they told me it was close to 4,000 there. So it'd be great to have the community come out this week and another large crowd, because it was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy.
The kids love playing in front of a bunch of people, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
It hurt my numbers, though. My numbers are down a little bit because some of our fans were at the ball game on Saturday, but I'll take that trade every time. But, Saturday with Malone in town, the game, got off to a bit of a strange start. The young man who returned the opening kickoff for them, I got to say I was very impressed with this young man. Ashton Doolin is his name, wide receiver, tall kid, athletic-looking kid. Takes an opening kickoff, 99 yards for a touchdown. And he goes behind the 8 ball 13 seconds into the game, but that kid was quite an athlete.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's an NFL prospect, very talented, good size, good speed. I think he's also a really good track runner, is what Coach Croy was telling me. So, we knew going into the game that he's been the bulk of their offense and the bulk of their team all year long. We just, tried to limit his touches, and unfortunately that opening kickoff didn't go our way. But, I was proud of the team. They didn't panic. We went down the sideline and told them, hey, we got to score anyway.
That was my
if you're going to give
thought.
up something like that, then do it right at the very beginning so you can get it out of the way and have time to make up for it. But very impressed on how we responded after that.
Well, you did respond and tie it up in the first quarter. Charles Holland caught a 33-yard pass from Nick Watson, an 8-play, 75-yard drive, taking 3:57 off the clock, and that was a catch where Charles became the all-time leading pass catcher for Tiffin University.
Yes, and a lot of people thought, Nate Washington was there in the crowd. A lot of people thought he was breaking Nate Washington's record, but that's not true. He actually broke Marcus Buren, one of our receivers from about 6 years ago's record. So, it's great to see, Charles, have that moment, losing last season due to an injury and be able to come back, for his medical red shirt and getting that career receptions record. It was a lot of fun, and it was great for Nate Washington to be there and witness it as well.
Yeah, some people thought it was Nate as well talking to me, but it was nice to be able to think of Marcus, because Marcus did some really good things while he was here playing football for your Dragons. That's true. So
absolutely.
Congratulations to Charles, but the most important part of that catch was it tied the game up at 7-7 after the extra point. Still in the first quarter, your freshman running back. Seems like you're somebody in the backfield stepping up for you each and every week. This week it was Tylen Rice. He had a big game for you. He got in the end zone a 2-yard touchdown run after a 7-play, 55-yard drive, taking 4:50 off the clock.
Yeah, a great drive right there. I think KB, Kyle Brunson, got us down to that point.
He had a great game, too.
We got him out to get a little breather right there, and Rice stepped in and got the score. So, I really can't talk enough about our offensive line play, our running back play. It's really added another element to our offense. I mean, we've been known to have all these talented receivers and quarterbacks for years now, but, really our best-kept secret right now has been our offensive line and our running backs.
On the offensive line, we talked about it before. It's depth, having depth there at the offensive line, and most importantly on the offensive line, staying healthy. And so far,
yeah, knock on wood, please.
Knock on wood, everything's been going all right. So after one quarter of play, the Dragons had a 14-7 lead over the Malone Pioneers. It was homecoming week, as Coach said. A lot of fans in the crowd. A lot of former Tiffin University football players I saw were able to make the trip. A couple guys I used to live with, I was able to see over the weekend. So it was pretty cool for me too.
It was a great weekend. Sometimes homecoming is a lot of excitement, a lot of fun, but at the same time, as a coach, you worry because there's so much stuff going on. You kind of get out of routine because you got to be at the bonfire, the pep rally, all this stuff. And then we had the Hall of Fame dinner where Nate Washington got put in on our Hall of Fame Friday night. So, it was a big week. It's a lot of fun. But the game atmosphere, I think we had over 200 alumni in our Gridiron Club tent.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I think they ran out of food and beverages pretty quick, and they had a lot ordered. So, it was a lot of people there, and I think that helped create the buzz there in that end zone.
That was a great time, and it's always great to see those former Dragons come back. And it's also great to see those former Dragons come back and exhibit the pride, knowing that they were part of this program a long time ago for some of them not that long ago, but the pride that they're seeing the way your kids are competing on the field. That's pretty cool stuff. All right, you mentioned Kyle Brunson earlier. He had a touchdown in the second quarter, a 22-yard pass from Nick Watson on a play that from where I was at in the press box, I don't know if that pass was ever coming down. It was the receiver splitting, and Kyle went up the middle, and he lofted that thing up and right over the shoulder. But it's a beautiful pitch, beautiful catch, and a beautiful touchdown.
Yeah, they kind of gave us the look we were looking for right there, and we've been working on that play for a while now. And I agree with you. I think when the ball was thrown, everybody on the sideline said the same thing: is that ball ever going to come down? But he made a great reception right there over the Mike linebacker for a easy score.
And after that play, the Dragons up 21-7. It was an 8-play, 80-yard drive, taking 4:30 off of the clock. Up next, Kyle Brunson on the ground. A 3-yard touchdown run, gets in the end zone again. 11 plays, 66 yards, and another 4.5 off the clock. So Kyle may not have had as many yards as what Rice had in the ball game, but Kyle got in the end zone a couple times.
Yeah, he had a great first half, really did. And nice thing about that drive right there, I felt like it really gave our defense a break. And I think we ended with time of possession, something like 38 minutes to their 19 and some change.
Right.
But really proud of how we were maintaining some drives right there. I think we had 5 straight scoring possessions. So
yeah, that's fantastic. Really to think about it. Now let's go to a personal note. It's halftime. First time back on the sidelines. How did you feel at halftime?
I felt great.
Did you?
Felt
Good.
Great. Like always, we went in and talked to the team about it. Hey, it's 0-0.
Right.
It's a crazy game. A lot of things can happen. So, I thought we went in at halftime. We were very focused, and I heard the guys talking about, hey, it's 0-0. Let's go out there and do the same exact thing we did in the first half and play hard and be in attack mode.
That's fantastic. All right, third quarter. Marquette Dixon, another freshman running back, finds the end zone, a 1-yarder. It was a 6-play, 53-yard drive, only taking 2.5 off the clock, and now the Dragons are stretched out a little bit at 35-7.
Yeah, again, great to see Dixon get in the end zone. Dixon's played for us a little bit in some different roles and been in the backfield with some carries here and there, but it's great to see him score his first touchdown.
Yeah, all three of you running backs bring a little bit something different to the table. The ones that are running right now, there's another one out there that hasn't played yet this year, brings another set of skills to the table.
Right.
So it's nice to have a lot in the cupboard, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a lot of talent in the backfield. Really
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, the young man that we talked about earlier, Ashton Doolin, got back in the end zone for Malone, a 55-yard run. I think it was an end around, right? A 3-play, 60.
Yeah, he ran a little jet sweep.
And
broke a few tackles. And again, you give that young man the crease, and he's gone. He's a good player. So, but then things got pretty crazy after that. That's when we had the weather delay for over an hour.
The weather delay, yes.
We had to get all the fans out of the stands because of lightning, and finally we get out of the locker room, and it was real humid, and that locker room was extremely hot.
Roasting.
So we were itching to get back out on the field, but I worried about how we were going to come out and play that after that delay. Not even the second half. I guess it was the second half.
Right.
So we talked a lot underneath about, hey, get off your feet, take your shoulder pads off, relax a little bit. It's going to be a while, but that. After that delay, you come out and you look in the stands, everybody's gone because of the weather. And
right.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them for all the light and everything, but just a different feeling there
yes,
for that end of that third quarter and then going into the fourth quarter.
And that's nothing that you can actually prepare for. You can't prepare for a weather delay like that. I guess maybe you have to have some kind of notation in the back of your mind about, okay, if we do experience something like this is what we need to do to make sure we're ready to go.
We had some in camp. We did have some in camp. We actually were out in the practice fields, had a lot of light, and we had to come into the indoor. So we have talked about it a little bit. But yet it's just one more form of adversity. We do talk about it all the time. We have no idea how that's going to present itself. So it was a challenge. I did think in that we played good, after that, but we also, might have overlooked some things in that area there. So, kind of a coach's nightmare.
It was about an hour and a half, somewhere around there, wasn't it? About an hour and a half.
It was every bit of an hour. I know that.
Yeah, it was long. I know that as well. And then it started coming back down when I was trying to carry my gear out of the press box on the way home on Saturday night. All right, the Dragons also get on the board with a field goal. A.J. Nikolai, a 25-yarder, and 5-play, 67-yard drive, getting 2:23 off the clock. You always say you'd like to get in the end zone, but you want to finish every drive with a kick, and A.J.'s doing a pretty good job for you right now.
A.J. has. The last 2 weeks, A.J. has stepped up, and he's been perfect on his extra points and field goal attempts right now. So no complaints to that young man, doing a great job for us.
Yes, he is. And then the final score of the game came from Malone. Ashton Doolin, again, a 67-yard touchdown pass from Demetrius Clayton. Demetrius Clayton, a pretty talented quarterback. He has kept him in check pretty well on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, we did. Like I said, defense did a great job. And even on that last score right there, we were in position. We had a safety over top. Our corner was underneath that right there. They all went up for the ball, and again, that young man came down with it. So just a heck of a play on his part. But not angry at our defense by no means. They were right there to make the play.
Well, Dragons get the big W. Was it 38-21 was the final score
Correct.
on Saturday afternoon? Now, another tough game coming up in the GMAC is Kentucky Wesleyan coming to town. They fell behind early to Walsh last week, kind of big, like 17-0 in the first quarter. Able to battle back and actually outscored Walsh, I think, 17-7 after that. So this team has been through a lot of pretty close games. But they haven't been on the road much. This is a new test for them.
Yeah, they've had 4 home games out of their 5.
Yeah.
They've only played 5 games right now. But, they're a dangerous team. They really are. They've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. They're playing some young people, but I think their corners might be the best corners we've seen, to be honest. Offensively, they got a tailback that can flat out fly. So if he gets in some space, he's going to be a handful. So, and they do a lot of stuff on both sides of the ball. Offensively, they kind of throw everything at you, and then defensively, they do the same thing. And they're not scared to play zero and bring a lot of pressure at you. So, we're going to have our hands full. By no means is this going to be an easy opponent. I don't believe that exists.
Right,
you never have an easy opponent. And
you think you do, you end up with an L.
Absolutely. And I'm sure they're having a great week of practice. They had an off week last week, so they had 2 weeks to prepare for us.
Okay.
So I'm sure they're excited to come play us and try to knock us off of being, 6-0 right now.
Well, you mentioned having strong cornerback play. They're number 1 in the conference in pass defense right now, only giving up 172 yards a game, and one of their DBs leads the conference interceptions as well and has brought one back to the house, much like secondary member.
Oh, yeah. Again, this is not a team where you can look at their record and say, okay, yeah, they're just so. No, they have a lot of talent on that team, and they're a dangerous unit.
Well, I was looking at their offensive numbers, and they have 2 running backs who are in the top 10 of the GMAC. And I thought, well, it's pretty cool. They got 2 running backs in the top 10, and Landon Thomas and Corey Johnson. I was like, well, why don't I look at where we are? We also have 2 running backs in the top 10 as well. Kyle Brunson sitting at 3rd and Tylen Rice at 9th. So not very often I would think that 40% of the top 10 running backs in the league are going to be playing on one field on a Saturday afternoon.
Good point.
Yeah, and then quarterback Mike McGee, a big kid, stands about 6'5", completing about 59% of his passes, 160 yards a game, 7 touchdowns, and seems like his favorite connection is Derek Barnes on the outside, young man with 4 touchdowns on the season.
Right, absolutely. Like I said, it's going to be a good game. It really is, and we're going to have our hands full, and but like every week, we got to be assignment sound, and it's more about. It's not who we're playing, it's more about how we're going to play.
Well, the last thing to mention on that Derek Barnes, he's also leading the GMAC in punt return yardage and 3rd in the conference kickoff return yardage. So he's somebody that they like to get the ball in and see what he can do with his physical ability.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago when they played Malone, Malone's kid returns it for a touchdown, and then he comes back and returns it for a touchdown. So
anything you can do, I can do better.
They're
type
both
situation.
Explosive.
All right, well, we got a student athlete who's going to join us. He just turned over his shoulder as soon as he heard me talk. His name is Ross Moore. He wears number 6 for the Dragons. How about a big round of applause for Ross Moore, everybody? Ross, how you doing tonight, sir?
Good. How are you doing? Good. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Thanks for joining us here on the program. And you're a senior here at Tiffin University Dragons?
Yes, sir.
You're from Lake Orion, Michigan, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you're down here in Tiffin. We got one out of that state up there to come down and play some football in Ohio. Talk about what brought you down here to Tiffin to play some football.
What'd you say?
Talk about what brought you down to Tiffin to play football.
Just the team. At first, Tiffin didn't have a winning record. I just wanted to make something better, make the program better.
You knew the coaches came to recruit you, that the people were in place that were going to be able to turn this program around. You wanted to be a part of that.
Yep, I wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, he absolutely did. That's exactly what he said. When he committed to us, hey, I want to come do something special, something different than anybody before. And Ross was a lot of fun to recruit. His family is awesome. We have our own personal photographer right now. Have you noticed, Rod Moore?
Yes. And what's great about him is he takes his time out to say hello to me every time I walk past him as well. So I love interacting with the families. And, this photography is fantastic. He puts it out there online. And, we use it, the picture of Charles getting that touchdown and stuff. So photography must be something your dad's loved for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah. He's been doing it ever since I was in middle school. He's been taking pictures. So.
What kind of hobbies do you have like that?
Football. Football.
Besides football class.
That's all biggest hobby.
Well, you're a defensive back here at Tiffin University. Why don't you talk about your crew back there in the secondary? And your defense as a whole has been putting in some great work this year. And secondary's been, as big a part of that as anybody. Talk about your crew.
Basically, we just try to hold each other accountable on the field. And if someone makes a mistake, pick them up and just be one as a unit, basically.
Well, you're playing right now, an undefeated season going on, and you talked about the way the program was when they got here, and now that you're here, you've seen it from a freshman to this point. What's some of the biggest changes you've seen in this football program?
a lot of big changes, honestly. I would say the biggest changes would be I would say how the team interacts with each other. When I first got here, there was a lot of individuals, a lot of people doing their own thing, but now it's more like we're really a team. Yeah.
Coach, that's what it takes to win, right?
Yes, sir.
Being like a family, team, whatever you want to call it, is about being able to trust your brother on this side and have that brother on that side trust you.
Absolutely. If you don't have that, you're not going to win. That's what makes football special. You've got to work together. There's 11 guys on the field, and if they're going in opposite directions, it's going to be a disaster play. So, Ross has been a big part of us changing the culture here. Ross is, we brought the leadership training program in, I think, 6 years ago, so every year Ross has been a part of that, I think just what he said is, caring about each other and caring about the guy to my right and to my left and making sure that I'm holding myself accountable as well as them.
What's a lesson maybe football has taught you at the collegiate level as you've grown? Is it part of being a man? Is it discipline? What's football taught you?
Football has basically taught me, adversity. Playing this game, you can go through anything. Basically, on that field, something goes bad, you just got to deal with it. It's already set in stone, and you got to move on.
What's your favorite thing about being on the football field?
Favorite thing about being on the football field would have to be balling with my brothers on the defense. That's my favorite thing.
I don't know, and this is hard to say.
Okay.
I don't know if there's somebody else that competes like this young man does.
All right.
If you watch him, he competes every snap, every play. Last week he really kind of had a quiet game. Didn't have a whole lot of action until there at the end where he got the interception in the end zone. Mm-hmm. But, Ross is somebody we never worry about. We know he's going to do his job. He's going to know his assignment, and he's going to give everything he's got. So,
do you take that approach of working maybe a little extra hard because of the leadership you're expected as a senior?
Yeah,
or is that just your nature?
Yeah, it's just in my nature. Always want to just work hard, be the best I can be, help my team out as much as I can.
What are you studying here at Tiffin University?
Business marketing.
And what's your plans when the football career comes to a close?
Try to open up my own business, something like that in that lines.
Your dad would probably say, selling my pictures. We'll do that.
Right. I got business marketing too and ended up coaching, so you never know.
You never really know.
You have no idea where your path's going to go. But it is a good idea to have some kind of direction of what you would like to do with it. Okay. Every day in practice, you get to work against our wide receiver core, and talk about some of the guys on that side that cause you fits in practice.
Working against our wide receivers is always fun. It's just fun competition, It's not too stressful because it's just like a relationship. It's going against your friends every day. So. Well,
and do you guys look at it as I'm here to make you better, you're here to make me better?
Yep. We don't no slack. Cutting no slack for the receivers.
Well, Ross looks kind of double duty. He's kind of really one of our hybrid nickel guy kind of.
Right.
So he's played in the box and linebacker roles, and then he's been out covering guys. And you see some of the size of the competition. Ross is my size, but he's in the box making tackles and selling out every play. So.
Well, was that last year where he was playing a lot in the box, like you said? Was that last year before?
Probably a little bit at times. Probably more this year.
Yeah,
probably.
A lot more this year.
Well, I remember surprising me a little bit the first time I saw you down there. Was that something that when the coaches came to you and said, "Hey, we're going to use you a little bit differently"? Maybe is that a role that you were like, "Yeah, let's do it. I want to embrace this role."
I was really excited to pick up that role.
We get to make more tackles, get to hit more people probably close to the line of scrimmage, right?
Yep.
That's what's a great part about playing defense. You get to deliver the blow instead of taking the blow. Is that a great part of it?
Yes, sir.
We get Kentucky Wesleyan this week, another tough opponent for you guys, and another home game. And tell us what we can expect out of our defense this weekend.
Kentucky, they're going to run a spread team kind of similar as Malone did. So there's not too much is changing, but we're just excited to play another game.
Well, your defensive back coach, Brain Dougherty, is going to come up here in just a little bit. Why don't you talk about this is his first year at Tiffin. Why don't you talk about what he's brought to the table this year?
Ryan Gordy, my dog. He brings a good energy to the defense, and he's taught us a lot.
And now we mentioned the line, playing a little bit of linebacker. We mentioned you playing back in the secondary. Let's talk about your defensive line as well, because if they're not getting the job done, it's going to make it that much harder for you guys. Let's talk about the defensive line now, some of the work they've been putting in.
Yeah, the defensive line has been doing very well this year, in my opinion. And they've been making a quarterback make fast decisions, so that's always good for DBs. So they just got to keep it up.
Take us through that interception in the end zone on Saturday.
interception. Guy ran a 5-yard out, just went over top, and then I was kind of anticipating the wheel route, so I just played off a little bit more, and then he ran the wheel. I just broke out and just broke on the ball.
Sounds like good coaching.
Good film study.
That's what
Good film study.
Yeah.
Well, Ross, I'm sure your family got a chance to watch this. Anybody you'd like to say hello to before we bring up your position coach?
Probably say hello to my mom, my dad, my brother.
Always start with mom, right?
Yeah.
You better.
Always start with mom.
Got to.
Well, Ross, you've been playing here football for 4 years as a Tiffany University Dragon, and you've grown greatly as a person into a man. And we talked about where the program was to where it is now. What's your goal as far as leaving the program? Where do you want the program to be when you leave and no longer wearing a uniform?
I want the program to be, well, right now, shoot, we're 6-0-6, so
you want to keep
I just
riding?
want them to keep it going, keep the fire going.
It's pretty cool to see all the alumni back in town over the weekend. Is that something you're going to do when you're done, I'm sure? Going to come back and support the Dragons?
I'll definitely be back for a few games.
Well, Coach, anything else for Mr. Moore? You're number 6, your senior DB.
No, he's been a pleasure to coach. He's a lot of fun. He's always been a yes sir, no sir young man, and showing up to work really hard. And we knew that, from recruiting him.
Yep.
And exactly the young man we want in this program, a good character, and the exact kind of family we want involved in our program. So they've never missed a game. I don't know if they've ever missed a spring practice. Maybe to some of your sister's soccer games or something, huh?
They would miss a soccer game before a football game. So, yeah.
Well, Ross, thank you so much for your time, man. Appreciate it. Continued success and keep working hard out there, all right?
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Ross Moore, defensive back number 6 for the Tiffany University Dragons. Let's welcome up now Coach Brain Dougherty, the defensive back coach for the Tiffany University Dragons. Come on up, Coach. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well is right. Is it Dougherty? Is it Dougherty? How am I saying it?
Dougherty.
Dougherty? All right. Well,
say it correctly.
Well, welcome in here as a defensive back coach, first year with the Tiffany University Dragons. So got to be a pretty fun experience if this is the first thing you're walking into, a team playing this kind of football.
No question. It's been a fun group to coach so far, especially in the back end. Guys that come to work every day. They're hungry. They want to get better. And as a coach, that's all you can ask for.
Well, Ross, we just had one of your kids up here, Ross Moore, number 6, defensive back, senior, one of your elder leaders, I guess, on the team. Talk about him and some of his other upperclassmen in your secondary.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the thing that I'm most impressed with about Ross is just his consistency. That's one thing as a defensive coaching staff we talk about all the time is just doing your job.
Right.
And Ross is the definition of that. Comes to practice every day, works hard in the game. That's one of the reasons he got Player of the Week this past week. He didn't do anything flashy. He was just doing his job.
That's what's important thing is. If you do your job right, the flash will come.
Right. The plays will come to you.
Yeah. All right, Coach, talk about bringing Brian Dougherty onto your staff. How did all this happen?
Well, we lost a coach kind of really middle of summer. Timing's never good with that stuff, right?
Right, never.
And, so we started getting a lot of people interested in the position. And, obviously we have Coach Yeager here. We had Coach Edwards here. Well, if I remember right, you were Edwards' student?
Assistant at Miami.
Student assistant at Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
We've pretty close to some of the coaches down at Dayton. And so anyway, we got Brian recommended to us, so reached out to him. He came up and interviewed, did a great job. We're all trying to get ready for vacation in July, I think.
Right.
And I think I officially called him and offered the job, I think, on July 4th as we were driving to Georgia.
July 4th, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. I was still in bed. Coach called me. I said, I better pick this one up. But,
he was very familiar with our defense,
right.
Kind of come from that family tree of our defensive coaches. So we thought it was going to be a great fit. Somebody that's used to recruiting in Ohio and a little bit in Indiana as well, which we're over there a good bit. So, it's just a good fit, and it has been. You never know when you hire somebody if it's going to be a good fit or not until they're there working with you. And I tell you, Brian is a hard worker. He's a football junkie, which I look for that in my coaches.
Sure.
I want them hungry and eager to learn. And he showed up every day with a great attitude. I haven't seen him have a bad day yet. Let's hopefully we keep that going, right? As long as our DBs are playing well. But he's been a pleasure to have around, and the players have really enjoyed him and like him, and so that means a lot.
Did your style mesh cohesive? Was it a cohesiveness right away with the other defensive coaches on this staff?
yeah, I think anytime you're working with new people, it always takes a little bit of time to get on the same page. So, right now I think we're in a pretty good flow. We know our strengths. We know the schedule, the organization of everything. So now it just kind of runs itself. With Coach Stalker, myself, and Coach Yeager, we just do our jobs. So
we talked about the upperclassmen in your backfield. How about some of the younger guys who are putting in some hard work for you as well?
Yeah, we've had a couple guys, 3 guys in particular that have been getting reps with us. Taven Myers, strong safety from Columbus. Deontay Lesperance from Dayton, Ohio, who's corner, and then Jalen Mitchell, who's a corner from Columbus as well, played with Taven. Both guys, I think, have a lot of ability and a lot of potential, but potential is kind of a scary word.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
But they're good kids. So that's the most important thing, and you see flashes now and then. Just need to keep taking those steps forward and improve every day. So.
Well, we got good leadership back there,
absolutely.
with Isabel and Morgan. I mean, we got guys who have played a lot of ball, know what it takes, know what it's like to be a freshman. We're having big eyes, trying to figure out the defense and the speed of the game, and so I think that's really helped in our secondary is just the leadership back there.
It's the Gary Goff Show every Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. here at the Wall Street Pub and Grill. Only a few more minutes left talking defensive back coach Brain Dougherty. And so it's your first year here. You came from, is it Dayton? Was that where you were before?
University of Dayton.
University of Dayton. And you were coaching defensive backs there as well?
I was coaching the corners.
Coaching corners?
Yep.
And now you're here working with the Tiffany University secondary. And, this isn't Dayton, but this is Division II football, good football. You run across some really talented wide receivers. Does it help you being able to work against all right wide receiving core during a week of practice to prepare you for these guys we're seeing on Saturdays?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I think we have arguably the best receiving core in our conference. And I'm not just saying that. And I think
I say it all the time, so it's okay.
No, you got multiple guys that our guys get to go against every day, and they really got to utilize technique and fundamentals when they're going against those guys, and absolutely it's helped us tremendously.
Has this defense surprised you a little bit as well as they played this year?
I don't know if surprise is the right word. I think I've just been pleased with the attitudes of our guys. I don't think we've ever been, hey, we're this much better than anybody, or
right.
It's kind of been the reset button every week. Hey, what do we got to do to get better? Because we haven't played a perfect game yet.
No.
And our guys know that. We got good leadership, especially in my room with Demo and Dejan and Jake Williams, and so it's been good. We're just got to keep taking those steps forward.
Right.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job as a team just to stay mission driven, and our mission is to be 1-0 every week, and not look down at the game 10, game 11, or what the future may hold. It's just enjoy the process, as you hear a lot, but it's focus on the now, focus on that meeting, on that practice, on that game, and that opponent.
Well, I heard a baseball analysis of that too. Like when you get to the postseason, it's you got to win each inning. It's not the games, it's the inning. And you can look at the football season as individual games. You can even break down the quarters if you wanted to.
Exactly. So I like how you're trying to bring our Braves into the conversation.
I know. Coach Goff and I are both Atlanta Braves fans. We're talking about our sorrows before the program started today, but we'll be back. Don't you worry. National League fans, Atlanta Braves will be back next year. It's a guarantee. Who's your favorite baseball team?
Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, well, we can talk baseball all night if you want, buddy.
I don't know. Reds have been going through a rough patch here.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get Kentucky Wesleyan team coming in this Saturday at 4 o'clock at Frost County Stadium. Talk about them a little bit on the offensive side of the wide receiving core.
Yeah, once again, they're going to challenge us from a skill perspective. Really good wide receivers. They're a 10 and 11 personnel team. They're going to spread you out, RPO you. One of the best running backs that we've seen up to this point in the season. Quarterback that spreads the ball around. So we have our hands full, no question.
Well, this Saturday the game starts at 4 o'clock, Coach, and we just stayed up a full half hour here. Anything else you'd like to say here before we remind everybody about what's going on Saturday?
No, it was like I said, stay the course. We're focused in on us, and it should be a great game Saturday. And like you mentioned earlier, it's free to anybody in Seneca County.
Yep.
So, we'd love to have a great crowd come there and cheer us on, and and hopefully, it's supposed to be nice weather this week. No weather delays. So.
Oh, I hope not. I don't like the weather delays. Don't like the weather delays. Then I had to carry everything out in the pouring down rain afterwards. But Coach Dougherty, thanks for joining us here on the program. Thanks for joining us here at Tiffany University football, and so far, it's a very good relationship. Everything's working out pretty darn well so far. So
Yeah.
keep enjoying the ride, because I know I'm going to.
Thank you very much, Russ. Thanks for having me.